26 years ago, this morning's guest said, "Giddy up." Since then, more than $3 million have galloped to the American Heart Association. Meet him, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Design It, custom design services and retail furniture here at the former Waccamaw Outlet Mall on Highway 501 in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the 26th annual Jack Monroe Horseback Beach Ride-a-thon to be held the first weekend in November. And we're visiting with the man himself, Jack Monroe. Good morning, Jack.
How you doing, Greg?
Thank you so much for coming in this morning. It's a tremendous honor to get you in and to think about anyone who's committed this many years to one cause and making a difference to fight heart disease and stroke. It really is an honor.
It's an honor for you to have me. I mean, it's an honor to be here.
It really means a lot. You know, we think about it. I saw a press release from 8 years ago that went out in October of '99 that was titled National Recognition Given for Local Man's Lifetime of Service. That was 8 years ago, getting honored that way, and year after year folks continue to recognize you for your efforts to make this thing happen. The amazing thing is, as I was reading that press release, Jack, from October '99, it highlighted the success in '98 of the Horseback Beach Ride-a-thon of raising about $58,000. Think about what's happened in just 8 years.
It's amazing. When we started it, I couldn't conceive of a picture how big and how great this thing has grown.
Yeah.
I mean, it shocks me. I have to sit there and say, I can't believe this when you see 1,500 horses in one place. I mean, you talk about the cavalry, we got the cavalry.
Many times over,
Yeah.
yes. That is so exciting. You know, so many folks for year after year. You've got folks from all over the country.
We represent
other parts of the of Canada and other places.
Yeah, we represent. Sometime last year it was 22 states, and the year before we got up as high as 24 different states.
Wow!
And we had one couple that actually flew in from overseas and rented a horse. Somehow or another they got wind of it, and this thing has really grown by word of mouth.
Oh yeah, and the web has picked it up, horsebackbeachride.com.
Right.
Horseback Beach Ride, that's possibly how those folks overseas found out about it, the power of the internet. We had gone on early this morning and Googled Jack Monroe, and there it comes, the Horseback Beach Ride. Your name's known all over the world.
Well,
both good and bad, yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Good and bad, yeah. The main thing is the research and stuff, the benefit the ride has done over the years. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. When we started it, I had no idea it would grow this fast and grow this big. We started the ride to try to keep the horses on the beach. I mean, the city was saying that, you know, they were going to not let the horses ride after Labor Day on the beach.
Right.
And Marge Stonebrook, I don't know where you remember her, she used to be called Miss Hart.
Right.
And she was on the board of directors for the Heart Association. So I approached her and said, can we get together and see if we can't do something with the horses for a good cause and benefit everybody.
Right.
And it led from there to where we are now.
Amazing. How many years ago was that, Jack?
That's 26 years ago.
That is incredible. So you remember the first one 26 years ago.
Big old 35 horses.
Is that right?
And it was something like 35 degrees when we got on the beach.
Wow.
And cold, and we raised something like $2,600 or $3,600, and we thought we had really accomplished something.
Oh, absolutely, for good reason. For good reason. And of course, 26 years ago, even raising $3,200 was worth a lot more than $3,200 today.
Oh yeah, a lot more.
A heck of a lot more. What a big deal. If a viewer needs to get off to work now, Jack, or out get family off to school, I know there's now a direct phone number if someone wants to call to go straight in. We've obviously always been using the 626-3939 number, but Debbie had said there's a great direct number. What number is that,
There's a
Jack?
direct number now just for the ride is 282.
Right.
2930.
Okay, 843-282-2930.
Right.
2930. Of course, if someone went to horsebackbeachride.com, they'd see a link to the National Heart Association piece as well as just great information right there.
Greg, they can actually sign up on the web.
Is that right? Great, great. And have folks taking advantage of that?
Yeah. They can take the credit card, and they don't even have to talk to a human being. They can sign up right there, and all they got to do then is get in touch with Lakewood and give them that number and get their campsite.
Is that right? And it's all secure and everything. Folks are using that, putting their credit card in there, and there's no issue.
No issue whatsoever.
Fantastic. Is prevalence of heart disease and stroke really something that folks need to be concerned about, Jack? I think you brought some facts and figures that were pretty mind-numbing.
I tell you, I
share with viewers a little bit about some of those facts and figures you've got about heart disease.
I got 5 little did you know, and if you don't mind, I'd like to bring it up here because when you listen to it, it kind of, you sit there and scratch your head. I didn't realize that heart disease was that deadly.
As I read those a few minutes ago, I don't think I did either, and I'm obviously very supportive of the Heart Association.
And some of it is letting you know, too. Did you know the American Heart Association currently funds 22 research awards totaling $3 million within South Carolina at University of South Carolina, Clemson, and MUSC?
I didn't know that.
Did you know 1 in 2.5 women will die from cardiovascular disease versus 1 in 30 breast cancer? That's amazing there.
Yeah.
Did you know that heart disease, stroke accounts for more than 40% of all deaths in South Carolina?
40% heart disease and stroke?
In South Carolina, 40%.
That's amazing.
That's almost 50% of the deaths.
Yeah.
Did you know that 700 of your friends, family, and neighbors died last year from cardiac vascular disease, heart attack, or stroke right here in Erie and Georgetown County?
More than 700
of your friends and neighbors. Did you know American Heart Association? This is the one that brings it into the ride and what makes the ride all worth it.
Right.
Did you know the American Heart Association is working to reduce disability and death due to cardiac vascular disease and stroke by 25% by year 2010?
Only 2.5 years from now. Right?
Yeah. So that shows the money that we're doing now raising.
Right.
That's our goal, to reduce that 40% down to 25% in there by year 2010.
Wow, tremendous commitment.
So it's a lot of research. And did you know that the Ride-a-thon for the American Heart Association in the past 25 years has raised over $3 million towards research right here in South Carolina, Erie, Georgetown County?
I did not. More than $3 million.
More than $3 million.
That is tremendous. I did not know that.
That's what the ride has produced since we started.
And of course, if you think, those are just dollars that have gone straight into the Heart Association. If you think about the economic impact of that ride on Erie and Georgetown counties and adjacent counties, with all those people coming in from all over America, the economic impact has been immeasurable.
Right.
It's been absolutely immeasurable.
That time of the year is a lull.
Right.
And we're bringing them in from all over different states. We're bringing money back into Myrtle Beach.
Right.
Back into the campgrounds.
Right.
And it helps everybody. It's a win-win situation.
It does, absolutely. I suspect you'll get crowds that will be visiting Myrtle Beach oftentimes for the absolute first time, and they're going to be coming back.
And every time I've talked to my wife and I, we all over the campground, checking out people, making sure everybody's getting what they need, and so the ride has a good reputation.
Oh, yeah.
And I've not met anybody that has told me they would not be back. Everybody says they will be back.
Right, yeah.
We have one guy that's been riding with us 20 years, Gene Duggars. He's this horse deal they bring in 30 people last year, and they have a meeting before they leave the campground, and each one of them is pledged to bring another rider back next year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, Jack.
So,
what a commitment. Well, of course, y'all last year turned away a lot of folks. It's always oversubscribed. You've got too many people interested in coming, and it's just difficult to fit everyone in. There are physical limitations of how many people you can fit.
Lakewood don't have so many lots, and once we fill them up, that's why anybody listening, if you hadn't registered, you need to go ahead and get registered and get your lot, because they are running out fast, and that's our problem. Once we fill up, we had to turn away almost 300 people last year.
Is that right, Jack? Almost 300 folks turned away. That's a terrible number when you think about it, because they really want to be here. They're willing to commit the dollars to fight heart disease and stroke, and they're also willing to get in there just to get out on the beach. It's a how many mile ride, Jack?
When you get back, if you make the whole ride, when you get back, you got right at 22 miles under your saddle.
Is that right?
And most people don't realize it, but when you get on that beach, and we used to ride all the way up to 82nd Avenue and made the turnaround, but since we were in Lakewood, that added another distance back.
Sure.
So now we make our turnaround at the Cherry Tree. But you got right at 22 miles under your saddle when you reach back.
Wow. Wow. Do you get out there and ride as well, Jay?
I don't get to enjoy the riding as much as I'd like to, and but I do get out. I got out last year a little bit.
Right. Is that right?
I got to ride Rocky, which was a horse that was in the Dixie Stampede, and his birthday was 25. He turned 25 on the ride.
No way.
And that was our 25th ride, so I got to ride Rocky last year.
That is amazing. The big silver anniversary, Jack. I can see why they changed the name from the Horseback Beach Ride to the Jack Monroe Horseback Beach Ride-a-thon. You truly committed those efforts. So you were involved in the absolute first one.
Yes, very first one.
So have you been involved? Was there ever one that you missed, Jack?
No, I hadn't missed a one. My wife and I hadn't missed a one since we started.
You and Margot both. That's amazing. Well,
without her, I couldn't do it. Without her, I've
heard you say that I don't know how many times, Jack, and at some point that sinks in with everyone. I mean, obviously they've seen that, they've known that. Every time you say it, it just sinks in more and more. It's a great reminder of the love of two folks fighting the same mission there and fighting it together. That's wonderful.
You know, it's kind of dear to my heart since I've had 4 heart attacks.
Have you really, Jay?
Yeah, I had 4 heart attacks. And without the research, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So when I started this thing, I didn't have any heart problems whatsoever. And I guess it was about into the 10th or 12th ride, somewhere in there, I had my first.
You had your first one?
Well, actually, it started with congestive heart failure.
Right.
And then after that, it's when I had 4 more heart attacks.
Have you had surgery to help protect you?
I have a couple stents in me.
Is that right?
I call them carburetor springs.
And those are so necessary now.
I know.
For so many people. Stents are a vehicle that a lot of people have to turn to.
20 years ago, somebody would have said, "You're going to put a spring in your heart." They'd have said, "Huh?"
Yeah. Would have had no idea. What's the goal for this year, Jack? What is the financial goal?
The financial goal this year is $275,000.
Is that right?
Last year was $250,000, and after overhead last year would come up with $258,000 plus.
So this $275 is a net goal. You may gross even $300,000.
Right.
The goal there is to gross even north of $300,000. Wow.
That's correct.
That's a lot of money brought in just for an extended weekend.
It is, but these riders, the ones that keeps coming back, they set this week aside like a vacation for them.
Right.
And they'll start coming in on Wednesday real early, and they'll camp out, and they can ride the beach actually from Lakewood to Springmaid Pier the whole time they're there until Saturday when the ride takes place, and then they can go into Myrtle Beach.
Right.
They can't go into Myrtle Beach until Saturday.
I guess every year you're getting first-timers still, Jack. Folks are showing up for the first time. They got in early before an old-timer signed up, and they were able to slip in before you had to start turning people away. What's that like, the experience, when you talk to people who are now attending it for the first time? It must be thrilling.
And they are like a kid at Christmas time.
Yeah.
they don't realize and how much we do and the entertainment and all that we have. Like we got parade, we have karaoke, we have different things. It's auction and solid auction, and we have our barbecue and everything. And we actually Harold Tadlock on Storney's, up there at 8th Avenue, he supplies food for them to turn around.
Does he really? That's tremendous.
I mean, that's tremendous. And where else can you go and get a hamburger on the beach when you go riding down the beach? Somebody's serving you a hamburger. And actually, the horses get carrots and apples. So.
Is that right? There at the turn?
At the halfway point.
Oh, okay. Right. On the way up there at 8th
Up at 8th Avenue.
Yeah, sure. That's such a great location there. That Thorny's is packed all the time.
Yeah, that's some good food.
It is. And they've got a great children's play area there. Emma Claire and I have been in there a number of times recently, over close to Villa Romana.
Right.
They're on 8th Avenue. It's a great location.
And this year, Dixie Stampede wanted to lead us out because they one of our major sponsors, and but they got 4 shows that day.
Is that right?
They couldn't actually lead us out, but they really behind us. And, And a horse event that ties in with the ride-a-thon. So.
Sure. Yeah, they're a big sponsor this year. I think they're listed as a gold sponsor. Dixie Stampede has really stepped up to the plate. I think that's their largest sponsorship I've ever seen them in. They've always been, in the $3,000 to $5,000 to whatever $1,000 range, but they've really stepped up to the plate this year.
Right.
That's fantastic.
And we talk about riders coming back every year, and like design that Harold, Myrtle Beach Herald.
Right, the Myrtle Beach Herald. And
they sponsored us this year.
The best of the year 2007.
Right.
We're thrilled to be a part of that.
And we can't say enough about you guys sponsoring us, backing us every year and helping us out.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah.
And like Pepsi-Cola, for instance.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They've been with us, Greg, for somewhere in the neighborhood 16 years. They supplied Pepsi. I mean, I pick up the phone and they say, that's the time of the year getting it in the Jack. Right. And, I mean, it's amazing that you have people that will back you and stay with you over the years.
Right, absolutely. I know we were sorry to see Bobby Gale and the folks this year, but they have been such great supporters year after year. We can't say enough great things about Bobby and his whole family wrapping around Lori, wrapping around to support the ride-a-thon in the past, and hopefully we can get them back in next year.
Yeah, Bobby Gale and them have been tremendous people with us, and
their stables out there, right?
And they still backing us in their own way. So
Sure.
Can't say enough about Bobby Gale and them.
I know they're a tremendous crew. We sure want to highlight that. When you think about big goals like $300,000, Jack, a lot has to happen. For folks who've never attended the ride-a-thon or may not have seen or heard you or read about you working hard on behalf of the ride-a-thon, what's it all about, Jack? And, of course, folks will be coming in on Halloween on Wednesday, the 31st of October. What all are they going to do? Break down those 3 or 4 days between when they arrive on Wednesday and when they leave on Sunday, November 4th.
Okay, Wednesday is more of what I call the first day relaxed day.
Right.
They'll be coming in, and we are setting up at the same time they're coming in on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So we get these guys in as soon as we can. We'll have registration open for a couple hours that night so we can go ahead and try to register that group. Then Thursday is when the crowd really starts coming in, and then we'll have karaoke or that type of entertainment for that night. And then Friday, we'll have a parade and costume contest, bonfire, and then we'll have some type of band or entertainment for that night.
Right.
Then Saturday, we'll have the big barbecue and awards, and usually we have a karaoke contest, and then we'll announce the winners on the karaoke contest on Saturday. Saturday is a real busy day.
Oh, yeah.
It's the fundraisers, the top fundraisers and all that, and all the awards. But from the time they come in to the time they leave on Sunday, we always got some kind of activity for them to be doing. And
I know it stays very busy. And, of course, the Perry family and all the folks out at Lakewood Camp and Resort worked so hard. We were real thankful when Ocean Lakes opened that door to make the move down to campgrounds and to family campgrounds. And then, obviously, after a year, the opportunity to move next door to Lakewood, or 2 doors over to Lakewood, opened up, and you all jumped on it, and they have been a great partner.
They have been the best partner. Put it this way, without Lakewood, we don't have a ride. I mean, you know, Myrtle Beach, we don't have any more land. We can assemble 1,500 horses.
Right.
And when you're talking 1,500 horses, you're talking maybe 2,000 to 3,000 people involved.
Right.
And we have no area that would cover it, so Lakewood is our only hope. And
oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah, and they've got a good symbiotic relationship with the folks next door at Pirate Land. I assume at times you may need to turn to Pirate Land for some assistance.
We are looking toward Pirate Land and praying that we can get Pirate Land to open up with us and join us, and then we can really expand this thing.
Oh yeah.
I believe within 2 years we could fill both campgrounds up and still be looking for spots.
I agree, Jack. I agree. What has motivated you to do all this, Jack? What got you involved 26 years ago? What keeps you so focused? I know you talked about the research and being done so that your heart attacks could be covered, and I mean, so that there would be some.
Well, I had a friend, a real close friend, that helped me with the ride. He was a retired colonel, Aaron Kaplan, and he died from a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And we were real close. Like I said, I didn't have any heart trouble, but Aaron had heart trouble and heart problems. Mm. And then I got to meet different friends, and it just got dear to my heart, and it just made it grow from little to. I had a passion for it.
Yeah,
and my wife has a passion for it.
You and Margot both, yeah.
And one thing led to the other. Everybody keeps saying, Jack, why in the world do you keep coming back every year? And
right.
Sunday, when everybody leaves, it takes me about a week to recuperate.
Oh, easily. Probably more than that. Yeah, Sally Judy Rodman was talking about that last week at Hilda's birthday party. Just all the effort. She's been out to a number of your rides. Mm-hmm. I think she'd broadcast her radio show from out there in the past when she was doing it, and such a big fan of yours and all the American Heart Association's done.
Yeah, Judy's a good lady.
Yeah, she's been a great supporter of the Heart Association. You know, so many other things. Now, Jack, this isn't the only thing you do in town. I think I've had you on talking about the McGruff program. I know we're talking about the Ride-a-thon, but you've been very active in city boards, I believe. What is it?
I'm on the city zoning board.
The zoning board.
Right.
Okay.
And, yeah, the McGruff program, when I was with Santee Cooper, I brought the McGruff program into the state, and we were the first city, Myrtle Beach was the first city that actually was a McGruff city, because...
Is that right?
Right. You had to have McGruff neighborhoods and McGruff trucks. Santee Cooper had all of them on it, and then we went from Santee Cooper to Hillary Electric, and we ended up with about, I don't know, the Myrtle Beach city itself.
Right, sure. A lot of folks got involved. I know a whole lot of folks got involved, but I was very impressed to see and remember your incredible involvement there with McGruff and Santee Cooper's original support, but then other people getting on the bandwagon.
Yeah, they all got on the bandwagon. When it comes to protecting our children, it's worth everything.
It's a common goal for many, and of course the zoning board there in the city of Myrtle Beach. But there's other groups, Jack. Folks have seen your name associated. I think there was even a time back in the late 90s where you may have run for city council.
Yeah.
What was that like, running for council? That must have been wild.
That was an experience.
Yeah.
That was an eye-opener. I tried it, and my wife said if I did it again, she would divorce me.
That was a good
That was a good lesson, and gave me an out not to run again.
Yeah.
But also, United Way, I was with them for 14 years.
Right.
As far as the industry chairman, and I'm a lifetime member with the Purple Heart, a lifetime member with VFW, Lions Club, American Legion, a few things here and there. I try to stay busy, and since I retired, it gives me more time to do this type of stuff. But I wonder how I had time to work.
How could you do it without Margot, Jay?
I couldn't. Without her, no way. The old saying, no way, Jose.
Right.
That'd be it.
You all are a great team there, Jay.
Right. She's my partner, my friend, and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you've been very blessed. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. It's been a great honor having you.
Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Stay tuned to more Carolina people with Jack Monroe of the 26th annual Jack Monroe Horseback Beach Ride-a-thon coming up next. Every year, every step of the way, Jack and Margot Monroe. Think about that. Think about that. 1981, 43 riders out there on the beach. 43 riders out there and $3,600 raised. Jack was thrilled. They were high-fiving. They couldn't believe it. Fast forward to a silver anniversary, 25 years later. Fast forward 24-plus years to 2006, where they had more than 1,500 riders, grossing almost $290,000, $286,000. Think about that, netting right over $250,000, $258,000. Those are big dollars, big dollars. Whatever year you're in, whether it's in the year 2040 or the year 2006, $286,000, that's a lot of money. The mission is pure. Fighting heart disease and stroke. Fighting heart disease and stroke, whether it's from a man who's had 4 heart attacks and had real pressure on his mid-level there, whether it's from someone like that or a dedicated viewer just like yourself, you can be involved. The phone number's simple, 843-282-2930. That's 843-282-2930. The website's easy, horsebackbeachride.com, horsebackbeachride.com. The date is simple. It kicks off on Halloween, October 31st, and runs through Sunday, November 4th. Get out there. If it's your first time out or if it's your 26th time out, make the effort to get out there. We didn't hear Jack talk about folks that have been there every year. He did talk about Mr. Driggers and his ability to be out there 20 years in a row. But there is one couple, at least we know, that's been there every year, Jack and Monroe, year after year, every step of the way. Make a difference. Support the American Heart Association in the fight against heart disease and stroke.